Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for being here this evening. My name is Rita. And before we talk about nutrition tonight, I want to dedicate this call to the children, to the babies being born right now, the toddlers, the teenagers, and the future children that haven't even arrived yet. Because what we're learning in science today is something both ancient and revolutionary. Our nutrition doesn't just feed us, it programs our future. So, epigenetics means our genes are not our destiny. Our genes are instructions, but our environment decides which instructions get read. So think of your DNA like a piano. The keys are fixed, but the music that plays depends on the player. So nutrition is one of the most powerful conductors of that music. And here's something that really blew my mind when I first learned it. Two bees, they have the same DNA, but one becomes a queen. Why? Royal jelly. When a bee larva is fed royal jelly instead of regular pollen, the genes that control growth and fertility and longevity turn on. So the results, you get a queen bee that lives 20 to 40 times longer, which is amazing, has a larger body, is fully reproductive, and leads the entire hive. And here's the punch. It's the same DNA, but different nourishment, which creates a different destiny. And that is epigenetics. So our children are not just inheriting our genes, they inherit our nutritional environment. And nutrient density affects gene expression. Antioxidants protect our DNA. The gut microbiome influences our immune development. Vitamin D influences our immune programming, and omega fats impact our brain development. So the question is no longer, are we feeding our kids? The real question is, what future are we programming? So this is why I love our formula Epigenius family and why it matters so much. And Layla and I take this shake almost daily, and it's really supporting me right now through the demands of nursing. And it's one of my top picks that I have on backstock. So I'm patiently waiting as it comes back in. And what it includes is we have our clean plant protein. So you have your pea and hemp protein, which supports growth, neurotransmitters, tissue repair, and children's brains are literally built from amino acids. And then we have our antioxidant superfruits, our acai, our makai, our amla, tart cherry, black currants, blueberries. And these protect our DNA from oxidative damage. And modern kids, face everything from glyphosate to pollution to processed foods to stress. So antioxidants are like our genetic bodyguards. And then the Epigenius shake, it has our biometic blend in it. So it has our prebiotic fibers, our probiotics, and 70% of the immune system lives in the gut. And as well, the microbiome that children develop early in life shapes their immune system for decades, which is incredible. And then this shake also has our algae and micronutrients. So our spirulina, chlorella, vegan vitamin D3. So these all support the detox pathways to eliminate toxins out of the body, supports that immune resilience and that mineral density. And we live in a world that programs our children by accident. So we have processed food, chemical agriculture, nutrient depletion, but we can program them on purpose. So every smoothie, every meal, every choice. Hey, welcome. Every choice, we get to write the instructions into the next generation. So, this isn't about perfection. It's really about awareness because nourishment isn't just about health, it's actually about legacy and what we're passing on. So, I have a two-part question for you all tonight. If you could give your children, if you have children, if you don't, maybe it's you're a teacher, maybe you have grandkids, nephews, niece. But if you could give your children one gift, stronger immunity, better focus, emotional resilience, or long-term health, what would it be? And if you've already started adding in these nutrient-rich superfoods into your family routine, what changes have you noticed in your children since starting? So pop off mute if you want to share. You can also share in the chat. Would love to hear some voices on this community call. Hi, so good to see so many beautiful faces here. Hi, I
I
see.
can jump in.
Hi, yes, please.
Hi. Sorry, I was changing headphones. Wow, what a beautiful, um, impactful message. And it's just pure truth. Thank you, Rita. I love the intention that you're leading this call with. Legacy is everything. And sometimes I think legacy can be overthought too, because I love how you use the words of our children being programmed by accident, but we could be programming with purpose, like everything in life on purpose. And a lot of that is in the simplicity. I know that for us, our kids, we have a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old. Their day starts every morning with fresh fruit and Epigenetics family because it has the biometic in it and the just the texture, the chocolate flavor, the protein, fruit, veggies, all the everything kind of all in one stop shop. It's just baseline. Let's get it in first thing, top of the day to really just set the system up for success. And what I've noticed, even my our little guy just turned 4, like this kid's palate is it is open, it's available. He is like responding to nutrients and he knows to look for color. And the reality is, in a modern world, we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for what is realistic and what's the best move we can make without we can't build an entire cocoon around them or us. But what we can do is build a healthy balance for things and give options. And if the access is never presented for information or to actually have nutrient dense food, no one would ever know about it. And so it's just, man, it's everything. I mean, I don't think you even have to be a parent to hopefully care about the next generation, but hopefully we all care about our own legacies that we make on our own in our smaller communities and the larger legacy of the big picture, the planet and
Mhm.
humanity. So thank you for
Mhm.
zeroing in on all that.
Yeah, Allison, I love that. And way to just be setting up that runway, setting up your kids for success in a huge way. And, just my mama had an organic garden when we were kids growing up, and that made the difference for my sisters and I massively. Like that set us up with our habits for the rest of our life, So what you're doing is so beautiful and so important. And thank you for sharing. I love that.
Can I share? But it's not, it's maybe a question.
Ah, please.
So what you say your experience, Rita, is that you grew up with this. Um, and like really what Allison was saying, how we can really help our children by we're loading them with the right things and we're programming them with the right things. But what is the best way for, because not everyone has had that experience, what is the best way to transition
Yeah.
someone from what we're used to and what the world really has put before us to this more holistic and plant-based nutritional way of doing things, because it's not always easy, especially for kids. It's not easy for adults, but for children. So,
Yes.
and that's the kind of where I am in that trying to easily transition.
I love
So
it. This
So
is such an important question and such an important conversation. And that's one of the reasons I do love this Epigenia shake. It's like chocolatey, it's yummy, it's delicious. You can add it into smoothies or you can just have it on its own with water. But like Allison said, it starts to change the palate and the palate does start to change just in 7 days, right? So even little babies they will try things, they will eat what we put in front of them. So it's more so the habit and the access, right? So here we're trying to share the access and make it simple and easy. And then, like the power shake or the dark berry, the idea is that it's nutrient dense food. And if we can just get even a little bit of that into our body, our cells recognize it as real food. And so it's hard because our brains are being hijacked every single day and our gut microbiome is being hijacked, right? So the world conditions us, and honestly, billions of dollars of marketing condition us to want artificial colors and flavorings and things that disrupt our hormones and hijack our cravings and make us want those things, right? So it really is just that little by little introduction, consistency until, if you can get these superfoods in, then it crowds out the other stuff. You start to regain your brain back. You start to regain your cravings, your gut microbiome, and then your body literally starts to crave healthy foods. So you're reclaiming your freedom. Yeah, self-agency, Allison. So it's that little, it's poco a poco, little by little. At least just start with getting these colors in, start with getting these superfoods in. Even one time a day, it's going to start changing the patterns in the body. And the body, the cool thing about the body is its health is all dependent on the health of our cells. And this is cellular nourishment. So we just have to let our body remember its innate intelligence by getting back to real food. And the body will actually start to crave that real food. But you are right, it can be hard because of the world that we're in. But the goal is with all of this to make it accessible and to make it easy. And I know the power shake, it breaks down to about $2 a shake. So for me, that can replace a meal, that can replace snacks, but you're starting to get that nutrition in. Does that answer your question?
it does. And let me just clarify, and you can just make it really short, but
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
don't want to take up the call. But so it's not as important like starting out. It's for a child to have them drink the full shake, even if they just drink part of it and just build from there. That's okay.
Yeah, that's
That's
wonderful.
helpful.
Like Layla, I'll put in her little sippy cup and she just drinks the amount that she wants. She loves it. She drinks it down, but you're just getting that exposure, a little bit of exposure, and then it becomes a habit and a norm. So, yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. Nicole.
Hi, awesome. I love the topics, my why, and I have a kid here that likes Purium, so I thought, oh, perfect. You
Oh,
can
please.
introduce yourself.
I'm Anji. I've been taking Purium for about 5 years, and I don't find it hard, although I do see many kids around me, eating junk food and stuff, and I don't find that I want to eat that or the candy or any of it. So I don't know. I feel like Purium's a very easy thing for a child to enjoy.
Yeah, it's so good
Aw,
to see
thanks,
you.
bud.
And how old are you now, Angie?
14.
Yay. Congrats.
Mhm.
I love
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, he does. I feel like it's so easy for him to just have his needs met with Purium, and then he goes out and he can go participate in different activities in the community and not be tempted by all the junk food around. He's just able to go play and hang out, and he doesn't feel without. And that really makes my mama heart happy.
That's so beautiful. And yeah, parents out there, it can be so hard to navigate, right? Because it's just an infiltration of sugars and all of these things that we can be exposed to on a daily basis. So Angie, it's so good to hear from you and just hear like that self-agency of this is what I want. This is what I'm choosing. And I got to have that growing up too, and it's huge. It's huge. It's a big freedom. So kind of shifting the tide a little bit. You're you're a superhero, buddy. Leading the way. Rebecca.
Hey, Rita, great conversation. Good to see everyone. I'm super passionate about all of this too, of course. We've got 8 children, and so it's really behooves me to do well by this generation and then my 2 grandchildren. And I see that as being the case as I've had these last couple of superfood babies. A couple of themes are one is they eat everything. Their palate is exposed to so many different things that they're really good eaters from the get-go. And I super appreciate that. I don't need anybody picky. It's just not allowed in this household. Um, even though there's a coup when I serve mushrooms, but other than that, but the other thing is it's so much less expensive. So just today I mixed up a little bit of power shake with banana, and it could be with any other thing, avocado, sweet potato, whatever, a little bit of power shake to give to Greta, who's 11 months old. And I was doing the math on those pouches of baby food in the store and about $3 a pop, and oh my goodness, I cannot imagine how many of those you'd have to buy a month. But a bag, she wouldn't even go through a whole bag of power shake in a month. And that would be, $40 or something. And that would be well over 60 servings for her. And so that was huge money savings as far as feeding baby. And she just loves it. She just can't quite get enough of it. And that's not the only thing I feed her, but I feel really good about the few products that I do feed her. And then just using those foods medicinally for our son who had acne. He had a couple of surgeries for broken bones and such. And I fought the doctor on the antibiotics, but at the end of the day, I lost 3 out of the 4 times. And just seeing his just knowing that he was signing up for a gut injury and then helping him to recover from that through the use of superfoods and him being empowered, knowing that he had actual means to recover his skin health and his gut health. And so we've used them in that way too, and just to change where he was, headed health wise. So it's pretty powerful.
Oh, so beautiful. I love it, Rebecca. Amazing. Mama here. Thank you for sharing your stories. And yeah, it's nice knowing also just being a parent, just getting these superfoods in our children, our babies, our nephews, it makes such a difference in their day to day. So thank you for sharing all that. I love it. Um, Yay. So I want to keep this short and sweet. I feel like we could talk about this conversation all night. But if something was sparked for you this evening in this conversation, and we will follow up again on this, or if you're curious how your nutrition might be influencing your energy or your mood or your gut health or your skin health or your brain health, right? And even that long-term gene expression. We have a really simple quiz to help people identify what your body might be asking for. And so I'll drop this here, but I'll drop this in the chat. And please, if someone did invite you here this evening, please connect back with them because our children deserve more than just calories, right? They deserve nourishment that helps their bodies thrive, their minds focus, their emotions regulate, and their futures stay bright. So the truth is, the future is not only written in our genes, it's written in how we nourish them. So thank you all for being here, being part of this conversation, being part of this community. And we will be here again next week on another topic. Love you all and see you soon.